All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'll pray to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Wakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Wakakadash. And double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and mercy to the brethren around the four corners of the earth, doing this work diligently, never lifting their hand off that plow, and doing this, pushing this word in sincerity and truth, beckoning the coming day of our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, all right, to deliver a true judgment onto this place known as America. Okay, so in the world today, as we all know, it is July the 4th. Okay, July the 4th, which is the title of this video is what is July the 4th to the Israelites. Okay, and so by Israelites, I mean so-called blacks, so-called Native Americans, and so-called Hispanics. You know, what is this day profitable unto us? Because during this time, our people were in captivity. They were, you know, if you even think about the foundation of America, it was July 4th, 1776. Okay, so during that time, our people were in a state of captivity. You know, the first documented slave in America was known to be in 1619. So if you have that over 100 years later, our people were slaves then when this place known as America was founded. All right, the independence of this place. All right, and so matter of fact, let me see if I can get the word independence really quickly, because this day is noted as Independence Day, where the so-called Americans. Let's get this first. All right, so I can get you the technical definition of Independence Day. It says Independence Day, also referred as the 4th of July or July 4th, is a federal holiday in the United States commemorating the adoption of the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776. The Continental Congress declared that the 13 American colonies regarded themselves as a new nation. All right, so you had the 13 colonies, which were predominantly the New England states. They call the New England states of the East Coast. All right. The United States of America were no longer part of the British Empire. The Congress actually voted to declare independence 2 days earlier on July 2nd. Okay. So now let's get the definition of Independence Day. So they got their independence from Britain, Great Britain. Okay. But if they got their independence from Great Britain, when they're speaking about the American people, they're not talking about the so-called black man, all right? Because in that time, it was the so-called black people were 3/5 of a man, all right? So you didn't even count as a whole person. Couldn't vote, had no rights, all right? And ultimately, it's the same thing to this day. But let me get some scriptures really quick before I start going off. First, I'll start with Habakkuk 2:12. It says, "Woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and established a city by iniquity." All right, that's how America was founded. Okay, by blood and iniquity, man. The blood of the so-called black and Hispanic man, and the Northern Kingdom, the so-called Native American and Seminole Indians were being persecuted, getting thrown out their land, given disease, being scalped, all of those things. So what is this day for the Israelites? Okay. All right, so let's go back to that word independence. It says, click down on this. All right, this is from dictionary.com, independence. Also, independency, the state or quality of being independent. Freedom from the control. All right, so get this. Freedom from the control, influence, or support, aid, or the like of others. All right, that's what it means to be independent. All right, so we're not free from the control of our oppressors, the Edomites, the so-called white man. We're not free from their influence because they gain they put propaganda on the TVs and advertisements everywhere you go. That's their influence. Okay, supports and aid. We're still our people. A large portion of our people are still on birth control, are still on welfare. You know, still receiving cash aid, Social Security. All those things. So we're still dependent upon our enemies in order to do the things that we need to do in order to survive. So that's how you know that we're not independent people yet. Okay, we're still entrapped to our oppressors. Okay, this is Zephaniah 3:1. Woe to her that is filthy and polluted, to the oppressing city. All right, this place is filthy and polluted. It was started on bloodshed and war, and so it's going to be burnt by way of thermonuclear destruction. Thus said the Lord. Okay, this place is filthy. It says that oppressing city. All right, so to be an oppressing city, you have to be oppressing others. All right, so this is our people are in the state of oppression here. They're being chastised. They're being persecuted in the streets. They're being locked up in prison houses. Okay, so but our people would love to go out on this day and have the most immaculate barbecues, wearing American flags, uh, uh, wanting to live a life in folly. You know what I'm saying? Happy Independence Day, happy Fourth. All right, but this day was not meant for our people to grow. This day was not meant for our people to succeed and be independent. They don't want us to have a state of independence. They want us to be dependent on them all the days of our life. Because if you depend, when you're dependent on someone, it means you need them in order to sustain life. Okay. And I wasn't even going to bring this up, but let me get Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Okay. Let me see. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Okay, so that's what happened to the children of Israel. All right, it said he shall be the head, and we shall be the tail. So he runs everything. All right. It says our head shall be brass and our feet shall be iron, man, which means nowhere we can go until our Lord returns, man. All right. Our people are in a state of utter darkness. Whenever we need loans, whenever we need clothing, food, shelter, water, we got to go into our enemies as the rest of those curses begin to line out. Okay. That's not a state of independence. Independent means to be, like I said, freedom of control, influence, support, and aid from others. Okay. It's just like when you're living with your parents, you are, even it says it on your taxes, you are a dependent of your parents. All right. And who's the parent here in America? The so-called white man, wicked parents, man, who's ruling. Okay. And but when you start to live on your own and you file your taxes, all right, you pay your own rent, you pay your own bills, and nobody's responsible for you anymore. You're independent. Okay. But our people are not yet independent. They are. Let me see if I can find that actually. Because our people would like to believe that they're independent. Our people like to believe that they are not in dire straits and out of the hand of our oppressors. They like to believe the things that they influence them with their persuasion. Let's see if I can find this. Bear with me, brothers. This is Baruch 3 and 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power. All right. So it says we are yet this day in captivity. So this day, July 4th, 2018, we are yet this day in captivity, man. Our people aren't free. All right. We're still subject to payments, subject to taxes. All right. When you pay taxes, that means you are paying a tribute to another force, to another entity, which means you aren't free. All right. You got to pay for everything. All right. You can't even collect rainwater in America. It's illegal, man. All right. The so-called white man think everything belongs to him and he can do as he pleases. Okay. But the Lord is about to bring swift judgment upon this place. All right. This is Zechariah 5 and 4. I will bring it forth, said Yahweh of hosts, the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name. And it shall remain in the midst of his house, and it shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. All right. So the Lord is about to enter into the house of the thief, man. The house of the thief is America. All right. Because this place has been stolen, it's been pillaged, rape, robbed, murder. Everything that's been gathered in this place has been off the blacks and the oppression of other people. All right. So the Lord said he's going to enter into the house of the thief. All right. In the book of John, it says, the thief cometh not but to steal, to kill, and destroy, man. You know, as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Okay. And so this place is a wicked place, man. And so thus the Lord says, I get that in Malachi. You know, so the Lord is going to bring those chariots down, man, and those chariots are going to enter into the house of the thief. This is Malachi uh, 1 and 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Esau are the descendants of the so-called white man. Where Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus said the Lord of hosts. So that's what they did in America. All right, they didn't have anything. They were impoverished. So they said, let us build the desolate places. All right. So they thought, let us conquer these people and build on, make them build a new America, a new home for us. Thus said the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them. He says, they shall build, but I will throw down. So the Lord is going to throw down this place along with their holidays, all these wicked holidays, man, they're holidays. Because the word holiday goes back to holy day, which means separate and set apart. All right. But these days are separate and set apart unto wickedness, not unto the Heavenly Father. All right. It says, they shall call them the border of wickedness. They are the border of wickedness, and the people against them who the Lord hath indignation forever. All right. So the Lord said he has a righteous anger against these people forever. And there's nothing that can change that, man. Okay. This is Sirach 12 and 1. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. All right. So you'll go out on these days, and what do you think? Like, I remember when I was young and I was living in the hoods of Detroit. And it was even, I'm not even going to go in. I'm going to go jump back to the never trust thine enemy. But when you go to these fireworks, it was a curse to our people, man. I used to see people getting stabbed down there. Shootings always took place. Something wicked always happened, man. The 2/3 spirit of Israel is running amok. Okay. And so the Lord says, those are the things that, our people their hearts are grows fat and their ears are waxed wax strong to wickedness, man. Our people are wise to do evil. And that's why all of these days, so-called holidays, are tainted with wickedness. And I'm sure something, Lord willing, something pops off today, man, because they come and celebrate their independence. Their independence goes hand in hand with our slavery. Okay, so you can't have one without the other. Okay, so never trust our enemy. So if they're giving you a holiday, a so-called holiday, it's not for you. All right, you can't trust them, man. You can't trust anything that he gives you. A dude tried to give me and a brother a mango the other day, and we didn't accept it, man. That mango had writing on it, but it could have been something. He could have been an agent, trying to think we just want his food. He's like, it's the best mangoes that they make and all this kind of stuff. He'll put poison in it, man. Never trust our enemy. It says, it's a lot. Never Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So iron is meant to rust, man. Iron is going to rust through all the weather conditions and through time is going to rust. So shall his wickedness begin to show. It said in Malachi, they shall call him the border of wickedness. And if you're the border of wickedness, it means no matter if you have a border on something like border on paper, no matter which section you go to, it's no way of getting around his wickedness. That's a border. All right. Like they say, the borders of the country. You can't get out of it without reaching his wickedness, man. Okay. It says, though he humble himself and go crouching. All right. That's what they do. They humble themselves. They go crouching. Hey, come on out for Independence Day. We're shooting on some fireworks. Come swim in the pool. We're going to celebrate, our freedom, our national day. They nice and humble, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be to him as thou hast wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rest has not been altogether wiped away. So you're going to begin to see his wickedness, all right? You're going to be able to see straight through it because it's not all going away. No matter what he did they have products to get rid of rust. Hey, man, that rust is going to return. Ain't no way around that, man, because they're wicked people, okay? It's more on that. I can go all day on that one, but I just want to get a few scriptures because I'm going to wrap this up shortly. All right. This is Zephaniah This is Zephaniah 1 and 14. You know, because as a matter of fact, I'm gonna give Isaiah first, and then I'll wrap it up on Zephaniah. This is Isaiah 10 and 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. All right, so that's what they do, man. They make unrighteous decrees, bounds for our people to be in traps. You know, things that like they do with crack and cocaine. You get a higher sentence for having crack because they know that Jake buys crack, and the richer elites and the so-called Edomites, the so-called white man Edomites, buy cocaine. All right, so I got this article. Was a speech by Frederick Douglass, and it's titled like "For What Is July 4th to the Negro." So I just want to read this quick little passage. It says this: "For the purpose of this celebration is the 4th of July. It is the birthday of your national independence and of your political freedom. This to you as what the Passover was to the emancipated people of the Most High." So that's spiritual right there, because we are the emancipated people of the Most High, man. And we're going to be the emancipated people of the Most High. You know, so the Passover, that was us, man. And so they celebrate this like it's their holy Passover, man. That's how we are, you know. And the Passover is a solemn assembly, but we rejoice in it for what the Lord delivered us out of Egypt. All right. So this it's to you as what the Passover was, a day of liberation. All right. It says it carries your minds back to the day and to the act of your great deliverance, and to the signs and to the wonders associated with that act and that day. So that's how the Passover is for us, man. It reminds you of all the great miracles and wonders that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua did for us in Egypt. It says this celebration as also marks the beginning of another year of your national life, and reminds you that the Republic of America is now 76 years old. You know, this is obviously some years ago, so I'm not sure what the new updated year is. He says, "I am glad, fellow citizens, that your nation is so young, 76 years, though a good old age for a man, it is but a mere speck in the life of a nation." All right, that's a mere speck. And so that's how you know the Lord said, after the third and half day, he's going to rise up his people, and this place is going to be brought low. So these people, they rejoice in their young time and their little time. You know, they should have rule. And he got a short time left, man, according to pursuant to Revelation 12 chapter. Okay, it was something else I wanted to bring out. I jumped down. It says, "The eye of the reformer is met with angry flashes, pretending disastrous times, but his heart may well beat lighter at the thought of that young America is young, and that she is still in the impressible stage of her existence. May he not hope that high lessons of wisdom, of justice, and of truth will yet give direction to her destiny? Were the nation older, the patriot's heart might be sadder, and the reformer's brow heavier. Its future might be shrouded in gloom, and the hope of its prophets go out in sorrow." You see that, man? It says its future might be shrouded in gloom. So America's future is going to be shrouded in gloom, man. All right? So this is something spiritual going on that the Lord put on Frederick Douglass to say, man. Its future going to be shrouded in gloom, man. All right? Does Revelation 18 chapter 9 say Babylon is fallen? Babylon is fallen. All right? Because the Lord is going to destroy this place by thermonuclear destruction. And it says, and the hope of its prophets go out in sorrow. All right? We're out there in sorrow. It says, better is to be in the house of mourning than to be in the house of feasting, man. So we ain't supposed to be happy and jubilant on this day, man. All right? We're supposed to be out sighing and crying to the Lord. All right? It says, there is consolation in the thought that America is young. Great streams are not easily turned from channels worn deep in the courses of ages. This may sometimes rise in quiet and stately majesty and inundate the land, refreshing and fertilizing the earth with their mysterious properties. They may also rise in wrath and fury and bear away on their angry waves. The accumulated wealth of years, toil, and hardship, they, however, gradually flow back to the same old channel and flow on as serenely as ever. All right, so they go back to the same wickedness that they come from, man. But while the river may not be turned aside, it may dry up and leave nothing behind but the withered branch and the unsightly rock to howl in the abyss sweeping wind. The sad tale of departed glory, as with rivers, so with nations. So this was going to happen to America, man. You know, it says the rivers are going to dry up, leaving behind nothing but withered branch and an unsightly rock. The sweeping wind, all right? The sweeping wind is that those thermonuclear missiles coming to this place, man. So this day is not profitable up until the so-called Negro, Hispanic, and Native American man. All right. So the Lord had men saying things that they might not even know truly what was being told at that time, man. But this is Frederick Douglass telling our people, like, hey, man, why are y'all celebrating the 4th of July? And so-called white people, why do y'all want us to rejoice in this, man? We didn't receive freedom under you people, okay? And I got one more scripture, and I'll wrap it up. This is Zephaniah 1:14, because this is what's coming to America, man. All right? It says, the great day of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, is near. It is near and hasteth greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord. The mighty man shall cry there bitterly. All right? That's what's about to happen, man. The day of the Lord is near, man. You know, he's showing us these different signs in the heavens. It's lightning and thunder out here right now, man. In the court Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, man. He's visiting the earth, man, as according to Isaiah 29:6. You know, and he has the lava flowing. He has these hurricanes popping through Wadi Al-Bashim al-Shah, just 2 lightning strikes, man. You know, but the day of the Lord is near, man. And this is the description of how it's going to be. It says that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation. All right, trouble and distress, man. So what is these people talking about when the Lord returns? It's going to be happy and satisfaction for the people in the world, man. Woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, man. To what end is it for you? All right. It says the day of wrath, the day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation. America's gonna be laid desolate, man, with nothing left in this place. Like he said, you know, not even a stone or withered branch. A day of darkness and gloominess. All right. Darkness and gloominess do not describe sunshine and fun, man. Okay, the chariots of the Lord, the missiles of the Lord, the presence of the Lord in itself, man. A day of clouds and thick darkness, because those clouds, those chariots are going to be covered in those clouds, man. Thick darkness. All right. A day of the trumpet and the alarm against the fenced cities and against the high towers. And I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord. And their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung, man. All right, so that's what's going to happen when the Lord returns, man. All right, in the next verse, he talks about the speedy riddance that he's going to bring unto all them that dwell in the land. Matter of fact, I'll just get it. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. So all of this money these so-called white people got, and even Jake, who think they out here balling out of control and think they got money, they can't be delivered in the day of the Lord's wrath, man. But the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. For he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land, man. A speedy riddance. And he says in Revelation, the 18th chapter, it's going to be 60 minutes, man, 1 hour that this place is going to be destroyed, man, by chariots, by nukes, by his men. All these things are going to come to pass, man. You know, and there's nothing nobody can do about it, because he's bringing his judgment the way he sees fit, the way he prophesied in the scriptures, and that only 1/3 of the nation of Israel are going to be able to be redeemed out of. Those are the true signs and prophecies of these latter days, man, because these people aren't watching. These people are only focusing on flags and barbecues and fun while they're making pork chops and shrimp on a skewer, man. Okay? But the Lord is going to bring vengeance upon this place. And the men of the Lord and the 1/3, the house of David, all right, are waiting patiently. All right? But the house of Saul are conducting themselves in wickedness. All right, so with that, I'm going to give all praise unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, peace, blessing, and mercy to the brethren around the four corners of the earth, pushing his word in sincerity and truth. All right, never lifting their hand off that plow, man. Stay diligent, stay out of this wicked world and all the things that bring upon this place. Your call. Endure, brothers. Endure, man, and pray for faith, pray for more spirit, pray for humility, you know, to keep on doing the things in the faith that our Father has.